Good day, or good evening, or whichever. Welcome to another super high production quality video. Thanks for stopping by. Don't leave yet. This is I don't know, I don't usually use the word unicorn, but this is one of those Bibles you just don't see very often. And I stumbled upon this and one other that I guess maybe I'll make another video of here in Japan, shockingly enough. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool, but it's expensive. This guy's crazy. And I scrolled on by. But then, a few days later, I think he lowered the price, and so it showed up in my sort of feed again. And then I took a closer look, and I was like, wait a minute. This is not just your average, ordinary, everyday Bible. So, I bought it. Here it is. Now, there's a little story of heartbreak with this Bible. I don't know if there's a happy ending or not, but I got a really good price. This one's used, although the seller said it was in excellent condition, almost like new, although, we'll see. But let's get into it. This is the Holy Bible, ESV, classic Thinline edition, red letter text. Don't know if we're properly focused or not. Looks like we are now. Featuring the complete ESV classic reference concordance with more than 12,000 references, full color maps, including a comprehensive overview. Did I say overview? Overview of Jesus' life and ministry. Sorry, my wife is texting me and I'm wearing my Apple Watch today and it's very distracting. Okay, so first of all, this is maybe the nicest, or one of the nicest anyway, boxes for a Bible ever. There's the side, and this is kind of a key thing. It says Cordovan Calfskin leather. Oh yeah. Here's lifetime guarantee. There's the ISBN. Just for fun, I put that in a search online to see what was available, and they're all like $1,000 or something crazy. So, at the time that I did it, really nice box anyway. All right, and one of the things that makes it so nice, besides just the appearance and the sturdiness, is it's got a magnetic flap. Get back in focus. So that's exciting. Yeah, and look how the gold goes with the gold. And I'm not gonna go in order. This Bible, when I got it, the pictures didn't show it, and the person who sent it, I guess, didn't notice, but he neglected to say some things or to notice some things. First thing was, not the first thing, but one thing was, this was the original ribbon. Presumably, almost certainly. And it's actually a really nice ribbon. It's not as wide as I might like, but it's a double face satin ribbon, and it's a really pretty color. I don't know if this is honey gold or what it is, but it had either been cut or ripped so that it was not even long enough, as you can see, focus, to reach the length of the Bible. And I would like to have this color again, but I have quite a number of Beresford's really nice ribbons, and I was happy just to use my gold ones. So I replaced the one with two, and these are 10 millimeter. But that was not the main thing, because replacing a ribbon is no big deal. I could do that, tomorrow again if I wanted to change the color. It's not a big deal. Anyway, let me just set that there quickly. It was neat that it had these still in the box. So this is an older Bible. I'll show you the dates and stuff momentarily. It's neat that it came with all this from back in the day. This is, before the ESV, I think, was like a massive, I guess I should do a better job of showing you, success that it has become. They're working really hard to market it, and they still do, but I won't comment on stuff there. Notice what you may. Anyway, so I'll keep that in the box, but really lovely box. And we'll set it over here. Now, the good stuff. This leather is awesome. The Cordovan calfskin. I don't know what Cordovan means. You can look it up, or maybe I will. I doubt it. But check out the grain on that. Oh, yeah. Lots of character. It's a really nice color. And you've got your hubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And ESV, English Standard Version Crossway. Whew. And yeah, also on the back, it's really deep, wrinkly. Love it. Now, this is some kind of, I guess, a stain. I don't know. And I've tried to get it off with remover, and it doesn't come off, so I've just accepted it as part of the character of the Bible. But again, I bought it used and I got a great deal on it. Now the thing that really upset me about the Bible when I got it, that wasn't shown in any of the photos or mentioned, was, and I'll show pictures as I'm talking over it, and hopefully to them, and you can maybe see what I'm talking about. There was really massive damage to the gold gilding, so that sucked. This didn't have art gilt or anything like that, but it had a proper gold gilding. But there were tons and tons of white spots, like it had gotten wet or something. I don't know. It didn't. The paper doesn't seem to show water damage, but you know, I can show you some other Bibles I just have nearby to kind of show you what I mean. Like here is an old KJV, right? Now this has been used. This is like a 30-year-old Bible. And this is the kind of damage that you normally see on gold gilding, and that doesn't bother me. Like that's just natural and normal. What this had, as you have seen in the pictures or will see whenever I put them up, something else, a whole different beast. And thanks to Johnny Mac on the Everything Bibles Facebook group, I know now that there's a place that I can send this, and they will, I mean, hopefully if it works out, they can redo the gold. And I may very well do that, but since I live in Japan and shipping to Japan is crazy, I'm waiting until I'm in the US or planning a trip there before I do that. So in the meantime, that white speckliness was just driving me nuts. So what I did was, and actually I'm gonna have to find it. I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay, what I did was I applied this Acorn archival ink, which is basically kind of a brown, to sort of cover the white spots, because this is the closest color I have to gold, so that it's not so, I didn't want all the white spots to be just red, you know what I mean? Because I was gonna do red art gilt. But in the end, I don't know how much it mattered. But I did a layer of that over the white, especially over the white spots, just as like a first layer. And then I went over it 2 more times with this. And in the process of doing that, and I don't really care that much because the gold gilding was so messed up anyway. And I may, because this is kind of a special Bible, I may send it away and have it redone. It ended up being such that you really can't hardly see the gold that well, even when it's closed, but I don't care because it looks much better. So anyway, I'll show you the outside and then we'll get to the inside. So there's gold on the edges, but I mean, it just looked so bad before. I prefer it now. On the top, it's still gold. On the bottom, it's still, you know, gold, but I really did work on the sides a lot, wiping it off. But for whatever reason, maybe it's something about the way that I'm doing it. And it just sometimes depends on the Bible too, but I wasn't able to have this one retain much of the gold. But honestly, there was so much missing to begin with. Like there was just white everywhere. So I'm okay with it the way that it is, and it looks nice actually. So I'll open it up so you can see how it looks open. Right, and then here's, ooh, focusage. All right, and that's how the ribbons look. And I feel like the ribbons really look nice with the stitching, although probably the color that came with it was a little better, honestly. But this is a massive step up from a ribbon that's not even long enough to stick out of the bottom, right? Okay, so now getting into the insides. This has a really nice liner, which I don't know if it's the same calfskin, but it's clearly leather and just luscious, right? My one real complaint about the construction of the binding is there's like next to no yap whatsoever. But some people like a Bible with no yap, and if that's the case, then you might like this one. It's still, there's something about it, the size, it's really handy. It's basically the size of my hand. All right, so same here. You can see even some of the way that it wrinkles when you bend it around. So really like that. Smelling it, it just smells like leather. You know, it smells kind of like a saddle on a horse, if you've ever smelled that. This was someone's name, and I managed to remove it for the most part. I did damage the paper a little bit, and I probably could have been a bit more careful. I sort of regret that. I think I should have tried, because it's just white paper, right? A little bleach on it first, but I didn't do that. So anyway, I'd rather have the paper be slightly damaged with no name than have a name. And it had a name and a phone number. I almost thought about calling and being like, yo, man, what happened to this gold gilding? But I didn't. And now I can't because I don't know what it said, and I never took a photo of the before phone number. All right, so opening it up, finally getting into the guts. Here's the presentation page. Marriages, births, Holy Bible. And it opens flat straight away. Very nice. And there's the old school sort of title page. And here's the important stuff over here. This is the 2001, which I believe is the original 2001 ESV. Maybe I can zoom in a tiny bit. So there you go. This was printed in Belgium, so that's something. I don't know what typesetting by the Livingstone Corporation. And this, I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, is, well, now which is it? Is it May? No, this must be, I don't know which is which. Is it printed in 2005 or 2006? One or the other. Anyway, I've still not become a pro at reading these numbers down here, and I don't understand why they do it that way. So if someone, please feel free to explain that to me in the comments. Preface, explanation of features, the Bible. Table of weights and measures, concordance maps, so all the good stuff. This doesn't have references, so it's more of a reader. But as I said before, I love the size. Now, when it comes to the paper's nice, but it's not as opaque as you might think for a premium in this, for a Bible like this. It's and it's not line matched either. But that's how it looks. And I can read it without distraction, but if it were any less opaque than this, I would have an issue with. Like, it's really on the verge of being not opaque enough. But I mean, I don't know if it's okay. And I think for me, just holding it and kind of the whole story of this Bible and knowing how special it is, it just does something in my head that makes it nicer to read, if that makes sense. But if I were just looking at this without knowing anything about it, just the text block, I'd be like, that looks like, just a plain old Bible, nothing special about it. And honestly, if there is anything special about this text, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what the size of this is, but I'd say maybe like an 8. I don't know how to measure it or whatever, but yeah, I'm just going to say 8, maybe a 9, somewhere in there. I don't think it said anything on here. See, now I'm just rambling, and I don't want to do that because my videos tend to go long always. I don't think they mention anything about the font here because it's not like it's a Cambridge. They do that more often. Anyway, just going through, here's the layout of the Psalms. Depending on the Psalm, it may or may not be like well spaced out. I haven't read it enough to get to a point where I'm like, why did you do it that way or whatever? But I do enjoy reading this, and in many ways the fact that it kind of came dinged up makes it so that it's easier for me to read it and carry it around. And that's kind of a blessing in many ways, So here's Daniel. No, I'm sorry. A little Elton John there. Okay, so here's the red, and it's a good red. And that's all I'll say about that. But there is red letter text. Keep flipping through. Don't think I own a Bible that's this color, and I don't think I have a Cordovan Calfskin Bible, or I had one before this, so this is nice to add to the collection. And it was just neat to get something older that's actually, because honestly, until a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I didn't even know that Bibles that had leather liners existed. Because I still have a really nice NASB study Bible that's Morocco, so I'm pretty sure it's goatskin, but it's a paste down because that's all they made. And like a lot of nice Cambridges are paste downs. So it's neat that in 2005 or 6 or whenever this was printed, there was this really nice edge-lined leathery goodness, so if I could turn back time, I would have bought this Bible probably back in 2005, although I was already in Japan then, so who knows. Anywho, I'll just go ahead and show you this stuff. It does seem like the red in Revelation might be a little darker than the red I was showing in Matthew. Let's have a quick, it's not too bad. So here's Revelation versus Luke they're not like vastly different. I might just be imagining. Yeah, and there's Mark. It's not a big difference, but it does seem a little darker here. Okay, so weights and measures, almost done. We're wrapping it up. Concordance. And I already showed you that it's a 12,000 references one, so we'll just kind of do that. All right, and then, well, there's the maps. When I do concordances, I like to look at names to see if they even bother having them. Oh, there. So it does have Aaron, and it's got 4 references. And then I also like to go to Samson, and because that just is what I do. It's a thing to do. If I ever get there. Samson, only 2. Huh. Okay, so that's a little weak, but again, always better to have a concordance than not, in my opinion. I'm talking to you, PSQ, Skylar. All right, and then here's the maps, and they are on thicker paper, and they're a bit glossy, but it's not super thick like cardstock. It's just thicker paper. And the colors are, it's a little different than what I'm used to, I feel, but I could be wrong about that. It's a bit more yellow than I'm used to seeing. They left a little room in the middle there. I like that. Obviously, this is, I don't know how obvious it is, but it's a sewn binding. And there's quite a number of white pages there in the back. Then you have a stamped ISBN number again, and that's the end of it. So this is actually a pretty generous helping of white paper. So if you want to take notes on that, you definitely could. And then there was quite a bit in the front as well. So I don't know, I appreciate that, and it adds to the sort of stability of the Bible. So there it is. That's how it looks. I made it red. And believe me, it looks better now than it did before. Those specs are driving me crazy. Funny story, if you made it this far, I actually dreamt about this Bible last night because I just got it a couple days ago. And the seller is giving me a 10%-ish, no, 20% rebate on what I paid. So that's good if it works out. But I dreamt that I was reading it, and I got to some pages, and there was all kinds of markings just everywhere, and like a lot of markings. And that just bugs me. I don't like having Bibles that have other people's markings in them because it just isn't not what I want. I would have been like all about giving it away or selling it at that point. So when I got up this morning, I was like, wait a minute, that was just a dream, right? Because that did happen to me recently with my NASB wide margin that I bought used, and I thought it just had a little bit of underlining and it had some writing in it, so that bummed me out. But I was able to sort of kind of fix it. So anyway, that's that. Holy Bible. ESV, really lovely edition. And since I've got it next to me, there's those. I'll put them there for the moment. I'll just show you for size a comparison with the NASB wide margin. And I have something else here that I can use as well. I recently replaced the ribbons on this as well. So this is the NASB wide margin that I've been, the Cambridge rather, it is a NASB, that I've been using. And it's wide, right? It's a wide Bible. And this is quite a lot smaller, as you can see, and not nearly as thick, right? So, yeah. It's a really nice size, this one. It is the classic Thinline edition. And then, what is that? Oh, sure, why not? Here is the Foundation large print ultra thin, which I also just added purple art gilt to and purple ribbons, and that's gonna fall in between, and that's fun. There you go. So that's 2 NASBs and an ESV. I don't know if I can get a good shot of that or not. There you go, with the remote control and my daughter's origami paper in the background and the towel that she uses at school. So anyway, that's that, and I'll spin them around because that's a thing to do, spinning your Bibles. All right, thanks for watching. Yay! Oil that I used to clean the leather, and my daughter's toy from Pets 2. Yep, so this is the one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Just got another text from my wife. What's going on?